Hey family, on today's Connect for Real interview, we have a very special guest, Ricky Carruth. Chances are if you've been searching for anything that has to do with real estate on YouTube, you have run across his videos. Ricky is best known for his Zero to Diamond free real estate coaching program, and he's also known for a phrase that he's coined in the business, relationships over transactions. And that's exactly how he's built his business to doing over 100 transactions as a solo agent every single year with over 7-figure GCI year over year. And now he is changing the face of the industry, the expectations, and how we're actually building our business. So if you want to learn how Ricky actually started out in the business, kind of the background, the ins and outs, get the real about his experience in real estate, check out this interview. All right. So I am so happy to be on with you today. So guys, we have Ricky Carruth on. And so many of you probably follow him. Zero to Diamond is huge online right now. And so happy that you have time today to chat with me today. Ricky, how's your day going?
Going good. Good to be here.
Awesome. Okay, so we're going to start with some fun rapid fire icebreaker questions. Okay. So nothing to do with real estate, but just some fun rapid fire questions. So first off, what did you want to be when you grew up?
Superhero.
Awesome. What was your first job?
First job, I worked in a concession stand in a water park.
How much money did you make?
I think I made like, I think I made like $2,000 for the whole summer, something like that.
For
something
3
like
months?
that. Something like that. Yeah.
Nice. When are you more productive, in the daytime or at night?
I sleep at night.
Really?
Completely.
So you're not a night worker?
No, not at all. No, at 5 o'clock, I'm done.
I'm an absolute night worker. I am the total opposite. Very interesting.
Right.
Okay. What tells you the most about a person when you meet them?
I quit trying to figure that out, to be honest with you. You try to figure out people and figure out what you think their potential is, or what you think they're who they are and stuff. And
It's impossible.
I quit trying to figure that out. It's like, for example, like who's going to be successful in real estate. I've had people come in and I'm like, man, they're going to be a superstar. They're just going to crush it. They've got the gift of gab. They seem motivated. They're hard worker. Even their history tells me that they're going to crush it, and they come in and don't sell. They sell one property in a course of 11 months and end up quitting. Right. And then I'll have people come in that, it's like Honey, I Shrunk the Kid's father and stuff. And I'm like, there's no way. And boom, they pick up 30 listings in their first 30 days. I mean, that's a true story, actually. So
absolutely. So nothing at all. Because like for me, I judge people on time. Like if they show up late or if they're on time, like that tells me a lot of like, do you value my time?
Oh yeah. After a second, of me getting to know them and they do a few different things, and I can see how they handle certain situations. Sure. I can kind of form an opinion of how dependable I think they are. And, if this is a person that I could, do business with, but
it's a tough one. You don't even
it takes a second.
Right.
It takes a second, to really try to figure somebody out. But no, yeah, I mean, of course, on time, answer your phone, do what you say you're going to do, all the core values, but
nothing you're looking for right away. Okay. Fair enough.
Not really. Everybody's different. And everybody has a different, like they have different strengths and weaknesses and stuff, and it's hard to judge people. It's just hard to judge people because everybody has different circumstances. So,
and I think real estate teaches us that more than anything. Like I never understood that as much as I understand that now in real estate. So I totally get that.
People say that social media exposes who you are. Real estate exposes who you are 10 times more than social media.
Whether it's because you're on the sales side or you're the consumer doing a transaction, it brings out exactly who you are in real estate.
Yeah.
So then tell me this. Do you have a manual or battery powered toothbrush?
A manual or battery powered? You know what's so funny about that? I've got both.
What?
Yeah. I don't like the battery power, but my wife got me one, and so I use it here and there, certain situations. So I
But
actually have both.
you are very interesting, Ricky. The last rapid fire question I have for you is give me one fun fact that not very many people know about
A fun fact that not very many people know. When I was when I was growing up, I was good at a lot of different things,
you.
right? So one thing that I was really good at and I really kind of went all in on was like art and music. So like I won art contests like paintings and stuff like that when I was in like middle school, and also was part of a band and play guitar and all these different instruments and stuff.
Really?
Yeah, but I don't do it anymore because I focus everything on real estate and coaching and my
Right.
career and raising the family. But it's art and music is something that when I was in school and middle school, primarily before when I got into high school, I got into football and
Okay.
basketball and I was into sports. But until then, I was all about music and art and stuff like that. And then when I was about 30, I guess when I was like about 29, I got into martial arts. Actually, a little earlier than that. I did it on and off in my like early 20s, but I got serious about it when I was about 29. Ended up doing 2 MMA fights in my early 30s, and then I did about, I don't know, like dozens of jujitsu tournaments all over the country.
Really?
hmm
Interesting. Now that's a cool fun fact. So I guess you're not scared to go into weird listings because you're like, look, I can fight, I can grapple with you. But this crazy list.
no, I try to tell because I taught jujitsu for for a brief period of time, and so I used to like try to advise, especially female agents,
Yeah.
on showing properties and never turn your back to them. Let them go in first. Always have a pen in your hand, in case
Right.
something happens. Always try to help them be more alert, and kind of be ready because things happen. I
And
mean,
it happens at the drop of a dime. Absolutely.
yeah.
So that's very, very cool. Awesome. All right.
Mhm.
Well, let's go into the meat and potatoes that everybody wants to hear. Like, let's get to some nitty gritty here about Ricky Carruth. So I ask whenever I set these interviews up and I send the request out, a simple question, which is if you had to do a TED talk, what would be the name of the TED talk? And I thought that
Mhm.
yours was really interesting, which is closings happen every day forever. So
Yeah.
that'll kind of be the undertone of what we chat about. But let's just go all the way back first before we get there. Let's talk about your first year in real estate because I think that as content creators and just the internet with like the whole world of influencers and all of that, we get to see the highlight reel of everyone's career. We get to see Ricky Carruth now that has almost 60,000 YouTube followers. You're selling over 100 homes a year. You're making 7 figures a year. You've got this huge team that you're building out, but you weren't always there. So let's start year one. What did your first year in real estate look like?
Well, I was 20, right? And I didn't know anything about anything. And I was roofing houses and doing real estate on the side, trying to figure it all out because my dad owned a roofing business. I roofed houses with my dad for 5 long years before I got into real estate. But I was doing real estate on the side. It took me 8 months to get to my first sale. And
Wow.
well, it was my grandmother's condo, so it wasn't like I did anything special there. And then, but I did close on another condo same day. So the first closing I had actually had 2 closings in the same day. And, I started selling 2 a month or so. So I sold like 4 or 6 properties that first year.
Okay.
And it was all phone calls and direct mail and email. We didn't have social media. We didn't have
Because what year was
Zillows.
that? What year was that?
2002,
Okay. Okay. So you've been in it now for 20 years.
just about,
Okay. Okay.
just
So
about.
so direct mail, phone calls. So you were really pounding the pavement when you first got started. And it sounds like just kind of based on a lot of your teachings and your coachings, like you stayed there. You stayed with the fundamentals of what built your business, right?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I'm one of the most dangerous salespeople out there because I'm right in the middle. I'm like the oldest millennial. I'm the oldest of the millennial group, and
Right.
so I'm young enough to have experienced the old school way of doing things, right? But I'm old enough, I guess, to have experienced the old school way of doing things, but young enough to also understand technology
Right.
and what's going on with the internet and social media. So I'm the best of both worlds. I've got this old school spirit of, actually having these one-on-one conversations and communicating with people the right way and building our brand the old school way. But I'm combining that with these new school techniques and strategies online. And I'm really picking the very best of both worlds, because like I don't believe in the buying leads strategy, and I don't believe in a lot of the stuff that's going on online. I believe in the building your brand strategy online and then collecting data, right, of your core audience and your core network, your core, market, area, and who your targeted customers and clients and prospects could be. Like that's what I'm about, building brand and collecting data. And I'm the same way. I'm about that. I think that's the number one strategy, right? With any business really, is to be a data collector first, and then whatever you are second. So in real estate, for me, it's like we need to be data collectors first, and we need to be real estate agents actually second. And through our journey of trying to collect data and build our database, we're going to do so many deals in the process. So, and I like to build my personal brand, and I like to collect my data via digital and voice to voice. I mean, in real estate you have to do both, and that's not true in every industry. E-commerce and different industries, you don't have to show your face, you don't have to talk to anyone. They can just click click click, boom, the transaction's done, and bam, you make money.
That doesn't work in real estate at all.
But in real estate, what's the common denominator to all closings, right? The common denominator is a real conversation. There's not, even if you buy leads, even if you get all your leads on social media or you do videos or whatever your thing is, it still comes right back to eventually talking to them voice to voice, either on the phone, in person, whatever the case may be. And so the common denominator is the actual conversations. You have to become a really incredible conversationalist and be really great at making people feel comfortable with you. And if you can horn that skill on top of being great on digital, and then time block time to have these voice to voice conversations and work on your digital, marketing and your digital strategies, then if you combine the two, then you are the complete, in my mind, you're a complete real estate agent. So many people are only doing one or the other.
Right. No, I 110% agree with that. It was very interesting because I went about my business totally differently than you, because I didn't start in 2002. So I've only had the leverage of digital at my fingertips. And I have a marketing background. So I was in marketing before I got into real estate. And so I leveraged a lot of understanding consumer behaviors and understanding, algorithms and that side of, the digital marketing space. And so I definitely think, though, that a lot of what you just said, which will segue me into this next question, though, are things that are very hard to teach. So let's talk about that. So you have this whole coaching platform. It's a free coaching platform. You're building out this large national team of agents. And you and I both know that in real estate, there's typically a very low percentage of people that do very, very well. And I think that a big part of that is because they don't, inherently, humans don't communicate well. What are you doing, or what would you suggest? What would be your advice to people to become a better conversationalist and learn how to build rapport and have those conversations? For people like us, it's natural, but I have a very hard time teaching that to people. How are you teaching that to people?
Well, the first thing you have to do is you have to help them understand that it's not about selling a piece of property. Right. Because so many of us are so many newer agents and people that are having trouble with the conversations or scared to make calls or whatever it is. They're looking at it completely. They're wrong. Right. They're viewing the activity as the end goal to close a deal, when really the end goal should be just to create a friendship. Right. When you take the transaction out of the equation, it should take just about all the pressure off. Right. And then allow you to open up. If you ask a buyer or seller at the end of the deal how they picked their agent, the most common answer is going to be they had a friend in the business. Right. And that's becoming more and more of a trend, because when digital came out for a while, it was more than half of our buyers found their agent online. But after we've went through a large cycle of that, I think buyers have went back towards somebody they already know and have a relationship with because they've had bad experiences with just picking any agent online.
I
And so
agree.
they're going with people who are either recommended to them or somebody that they know or already did a deal with and have some experience with. So it's actually trending towards relationships and who actually has built their brand with that person more and more and more every day. Personal brand is becoming more and more equitable, in the industry. But when you take the transaction out and you make it about just having a just conversation, um, with the end goal not to necessarily do a deal, but just to find out more about them, how
Right.
they're doing, what's going on with them. If they have an agent they would work with, if they were to do something, is there anything I can do to help you today? Or your house, it came off the market and expired. Whatever happened with that? What can I do to help? Because I'll tell you what are the big problems, and that is mainstream training and coaches and brokers even out there preaching the 1980 scripts and the strategies around, around, would you consider selling? Would you consider moving? Do you know anybody that wants to buy or sell? If not, then what if I could get you top dollar? Would you do it then? It's like this high pressure, and it puts most of the industry who gets exposed to that early in their career in a really bad spot because they think this is how the business is done and it's not who they are as people.
Right.
And so I'm trying to teach the real estate community how to communicate who they are as a person,
Right.
that they care about people, that they want the best, that they're honest, dependable, hardworking. But when they get these scripts put in front of them, that's not communicating who they are. What the prospect's hearing is, hey, Mr. Seller, you don't know me and I don't know you, but will you sell your house so I can make some money?
Right.
Right? Yeah, that's what I'm here for, is to see if you want to sell so I can list your property and or help you buy something so I can make a commission. And we need to reverse that. We need to let the prospect know that, hey, we're not here to do a deal. We're here to see if there's something I can do to help you. Right. And so that's what I'm trying to do, is reverse the entire mindset of the industry towards what can the agents do for the prospects, not what the prospects can do for the agents. And if you stand behind the confidence that you are genuinely there to help people and not just to try to do a deal,
Right.
then that should really erase a lot of the fear and a lot of the negative thoughts you have about communicating. Here's what I would say. If this prospect was your mother or your dad or your brother or cousin or uncle, how would you talk to them?
Yes.
Right? What would be the tone? What would be the body language? What would be the speed of your voice? They're comfortable with you. You're comfortable with them. What all the listeners need to do is next time they're talking to their mom, dad, brother, cousin, they need to take a mental snapshot of that conversation and how the person on the other end of the phone, what their tone is, what your tone is, the fact that they're comfortable with you, you're comfortable with them, because our number one job is to help people feel comfortable with us.
Right.
Okay. And the only way to do that is to be comfortable with them. So who better to model that scenario in outside of talking to someone that you're very, very close to? And if you may take a mental snapshot and start trying to emulate that same feeling with your prospects, and you give the vibe that you're treating them like you would your mom, dad, brother, or cousin, they feel that same love and energy, then they're going to give it right back to you. And
Absolutely.
now we're heading in the right direction.
Absolutely. I love that, Ricky. I love that. And that actually helped me. So I just took some nuggets for that. I'm going to steal that from my group. Because I really struggle with that. I've just always been a natural communicator. I literally went to college on an oratory scholarship. I was in debate. I did, Lincoln Douglas cross-ex debate. So I just know how to speak to people. I know how to communicate and get what I want. And I would say that that's arguably the hardest thing to coach people to do, because they just clam up and they're always in sales mode. And so I love those nuggets that you just gave. So then tell me this. Your business and your brand, from working with the consumer to now even coaching and working with agents, seems to come from a place of contribution. Like if I had to boil your whole brand down to one word, I would say contribution. It doesn't seem like you ever ask anyone for something until you contribute something to them. Mm-hmm. So let me ask you this. Is that intentional? Is that some Jedi mind trickery, reverse psychology? Or is that really who Ricky is?
It's really who Ricky is, because here's the thing. I help people that have no opportunity at all to help me. right? Like there's agents that I talk to that have there's no way in the world that they can help me in any kind of way. They're not going to join my team, or they're already on a team, or they just tell me straight up or whatever, and I'll still spend 30-45 minutes with them trying to coach them and help them, right? And so when the relationships over transaction movement that I've started is not about helping people who can help you in your business, right? Like, it's not about only helping people who can buy property from you, or only helping agents who can join your team, or only helping people because there's something connected where you could benefit from,
Right.
right? It's about helping people regardless if they can help you or not, right? Helping everyone regardless,
Oh,
right? And that's where you go to the next level of this. Um, that's where you go to the next level of this and really start to see your business really explode, because there's levels to this, right? So like the reason why I lost everything in the beginning of my career is because I focused on solely the transaction. And it
yeah.
took me having to lose everything and go through that to realize it's about people. So when I got back in the business, I was still like 50-50, trying to help people 50% and trying to just close deals. The other half, you can't just go cold turkey.
Right.
And then over time, that moved to 60-40, right? And then to 70-30, and then to 80-20 over the years. And then by the time I started coaching, I was probably 90-10 or even 95-5, just purely just trying to help without expecting anything, still trying to close the deal a really small percentage of the time when I felt like the moment was right to try to close the deal. And then through that process, you realize, okay, it's relationships over transactions, but you're not quite there because you're still only helping people and spending time with people who can actually help you or
Right.
help your business or become a customer. Right. And just here lately, in the past year or two, I've actually come into a place where I'm slowly getting to a place where I don't care if I'm going to benefit or not from helping this person, and so there's stages to it, and we're all growing, and so when when you reach that level where you're just helping everyone with disregard to your time and your income, because trust me, I think there's a chance I could probably I don't know this, but I could probably be making more money if I would just focus on the money part of this,
Right.
However, I feel like I'm giving up money now, possibly spending time with people who can't help me. And I feel like that's an investment towards an even bigger situation later. Now, I know that's coming right back to saying, oh, well, now you're helping people because there's a bigger payoff later.
Right.
But this is legacy,
Right.
right? The bigger payoff later for me doesn't have to be monetary,
Right.
right? It could be literally the fact that after I'm dead and gone, agents are still reaping the benefits of my content and my philosophies and so on and so forth, So um, I'm thinking bigger and bigger and bigger every day.
I love that. I love every part of that because I came into the business in a very unconventional way as well. And I came in while our styles are very, very different. I think the underlying premise of who we are and what we do is very similar. So I have this thing that, in the description of all of my YouTube videos, people literally have access to pick my brain. I wake up every single morning with probably 10 to 12 calls on my calendar where agents have been up in the middle of the night and they're struggling. They can't sleep. They have anxiety because they don't know how they're going to pay their bills or where their next deal is coming from. And I have a button that they can click and get on my calendar to simply pick my brain. That's not so that I can try to sell them something or to try to recruit them to my team. I genuinely start those conversations with, where are you in your real estate career and journey? And ultimately, what did you want to get from this call when you booked it with me?
Mm-hmm.
And we talk solely about what they want to talk about. And I found that is creating this weird environment around me where, things are just coming to me that I don't even expect, because I am just putting things out there and helping people and having 30-minute conversations when I ultimately know I'm not going to get probably anything ever back from it. And so I love how you said there are levels to it. And I've kind of gotten there and in my journey, instead of always saying like, well, my time's money. And so,
Right.
not getting
right.
time unless I'm getting some money.
Which is what a lot of people say, right? A lot
Right.
of these people, they want to charge you $250 to talk to them for
For a
30
phone call.
minutes or $1,000 a month and this and that. And it's ridiculous. It's
Ridiculous.
absolutely
I agree.
that business model doesn't work for me. When I say doesn't work, those people are making money,
Right.
but we'll see who gets the last laugh kind of thing. You know what I mean? Because for me, it's reshaping the industry
Right.
away from those guys. Because if they're high pressuring you or trying to complicate the business and saying, okay, if you pay me this, I can make all your dreams come true. I can uncomplicate all these problems and I can give you the secrets to success and everything. Um, what they're doing is once you get inside, you're going to find that they're going to teach you how to use those same high pressure strategies to get your clients,
Right.
and to get them to close deals and stuff like that. And you have to model. If you look at me, okay, I'm a free coach. You come in, I coach you for free, okay, and I have a huge coaching business, right? Massive. So think about it. I'm going to teach you how to grow your real estate business to be massive, right? By providing free value.
Right.
So you're gonna model. You want to pick somebody, a mentor that has what you want and has built their business and is running their coaching business the way that you would want to run your real estate business. See what I'm saying?
Agreed. Absolutely. And it's not a one size fits all thing either. And so that's kind of what bothers me about that whole coaching model is we're all good at certain things. We all have our strengths. You're great at cold calling. I'm good at cold calling because I'm just a good salesperson, but I hate it. I'm not doing it. I just refuse to do it. I'm just not going to. And so if I were to pay you $1,000 a month to tell me your exact roadmap, like it got you where you are, but it's not necessarily going to get me where I need to go. Because if I hate my life and my work-life balance sucks because I hate this activity that I've incorporated into my life, that it doesn't work for me, like it doesn't work. So that's another aspect of those coaching programs that I don't like is they're telling you they're going to solve all of your problems, but they know nothing about you. So how can you solve my problems when you don't know my strengths and weaknesses? Like none of that makes any sense. So I love that you actually said that. So then that segues me into a last couple of questions that I had for you. For new agents, their first 30 days, everyone gets into the business. They're like, just give me the roadmap. Tell me what to do. You just tell me what to do. I'll do it. Not realizing that this is their business, but I know we all kind of have our advice on what they should do. So brand new, deer in the headlights, brand new agent that gets into the business, their first 30 days, what do they need to do according to Ricky? Go.
Well, the first thing you have to do is, the first 30 days is really just nothing, right? You're really just getting your feet wet. 30 days is zero in this business. And what you have to do is set the expectations, right? So for me, chances are pretty high that it's going to take probably 6 months to get to your first deal. Now, I've had agents sell properties their first month and the first 2 months and 3 months and all that stuff. But let's just be realistic. And you might do 1 or 2 or 3 deals within that first 6 months, right? But you're not going to have like a mother load of deals. You're not going to start closing 2 a month, right off the bat, right? That's never going to happen, right?
Not true.
Right. What's that?
Not true. I did it, but yes,
right.
Some people, the majority of these agents, it's not going to happen. I closed 7 my first. I got licensed August of 2016. I started October 2016. I had 8 closings by December 31st.
Yeah, and I have a guy that closed 100 deals in his first year, right? I have another person that closed.
Right.
It's an anomaly. And I have another agent that closed 50 in her first year. I've got plenty, but I also work with hundreds of brand new agents, hundreds. Okay, and I'm telling you what it is. You could come in and sell some properties quickly. But at the same time, what I want you to focus on is not necessarily the deals, right? I want you to focus on how do we build the largest database the quickest, right? How do we build the largest database the quickest, right? What systems do we have in place to get in front of the most people one-on-one? And then how do we capitalize on those great first impressions, right, long-term through staying in front of them with this other machine that's going to build our personal brand? And so we got to put these machines in place, right? One, to get in front of as many people as possible on a one-on-one basis. And the other one to build our personal brand with those people once we make those great first impressions where they never forget who we are. And so for me, the way I like to think of a first-year real estate agent, just average, right? Not superwoman like you or Superman, the guy that sold 100 deals, but like just a regular agent like myself. Okay. It took me 8 months. And a lot of people are doing this part time.
Right.
Okay.
True.
I mean, that's the thing too. A lot of people don't have the, they don't, and some people, maybe even they're new to their market or they don't know there's a lot going on. So just generally speaking, I like to set the expectations that we're going to work really hard and you may get some sales quickly. You may not. You don't need to really worry either way because we're building our database. And we know that the most work we put in, the more work we put in the beginning, those first 6 months will dictate the amount of deals we close in the second 6 months. Well, from my experience, most agents, they sell most of the properties in their first year in that second 6 months.
Right.
Right. It's going to get lumped down there. Maybe you sell a couple in the first, maybe you're like yourself and you sell a bunch. But if you had that much momentum going in early, how many did you close more in your second 6 months or your first 6 months?
Second.
Okay. So regardless of how quick you get started, most of your deals
Yep. Are going to come back in.
They're going to come on the back end, and it's going to, and the amount of those deals on the back end is going to be dictated by how much work you put in on the front end without getting frustrated that it's not happening as quick as you want, without getting disappointed, without feeling any self-doubt. It's always staying positive and keeping your eyes on the prize of the database. All these large corporations, they're after data. Facebook, right. Google, Amazon, Zillow, they're all chasing data. We need to pay attention to that. And we need to think of ourselves as a little mini version of those corporations. We need to think of our own business in the same way. And we need to be chasing data, right? We should really watch the big corporations and say, oh, okay, that's the game. Data is the game.
Right.
And go after data hardcore. The more data you have, my database is to the point where since 2017, I haven't made a single cold call, no social media, no open houses, no networking, nothing except for my weekly email that goes to my database. And I've maintained my 100 deals a year every year since with zero except for just the data. So if you understand the short and long-term ramifications of building that database and collecting that data, what you'll find is that you close deals now through the process of collecting data and running into people and asking what you can do to help and trying to help people do stuff. But at the end of the day, we'll get to a point where we don't have to chase business anymore. Right. Business is going to chase us for the rest of our life after we've built our database and our personal brand. So I could say a lot about new agents and what we need to do and the direction we need to go in, but I have to help them understand what we're really trying to do here and what the bigger picture is. Then we can start breaking down what we need to do on a daily basis, the little baby steps, to move in that direction.
I like that. And I like that it kind of gives them some focus, right? I feel like so many new agents get in the business, they're all over the place with all the different things that they need to do, but you just simplified it. Like, your job is to collect data. Every day that you wake up, every single person that you encounter, everything you do should just be trying to collect data, come from a place of contribution, see how you can help people, build some rapport, and that's it. And eventually through doing that and making your goal data instead of sales, then you'll get where you want to be. So
exactly.
That is awesome. That's a really, really simple concept. Mm-hmm. All right. So then let me ask one last question here. So you are over at EXP now, correct?
Mm-hmm.
What made you make that move?
I mean, where do I begin, right? So, I mean, at the end of the day, where I wasn't really lined up with my values and what I'm trying to do with the industry and with the direction I'm trying to go in terms of just helping agents and making the world a better place and building a real legacy. And, and so EXP we're on the same page. I talk to people in corporate all the time. I talk to Glenn all the time. We're on the same page with what we're trying to do to help agents, and the mission of EXP is just so similar to mine. It's helping agents, it's bringing value, it's making the world a better place, and I'm just excited to be part of a company who has the same vision that I do for the industry, and is actually allowing me to team up with them, and do things, with them, to make that happen. So that's the bigger picture of it. There's a lot of finer details behind the decision, but at the end of the day, I'm a big picture kind of guy, and that's really it. It's just the value of the company, the values and the vision of the company really line up with who I am and what I'm trying to do. So
Awesome. Awesome. Well, I'm so happy that you came over. And I'm happy to be able to collaborate with you because of that type of platform. So tell everyone here if they wanted to get in touch with you or they wanted to be a part of your Zero to Diamond coaching program, how would they do that?
the coaching program is at zerotodiamond.com, zerotodiamond.com. And there's a 90-day action plan, 28-day challenge, free course, ebooks, tutorials, all kinds of stuff, scripts. And then the best place to get me is Instagram at Ricky Carruth. If you guys want to reach out, I answer all my messages there personally. Yep. And so if somebody wants to reach out and say hello or ask a question, feel free to reach out there. And of course, subscribe to my YouTube channel as well.
Yes, absolutely. Well, thank you so much for coming on today, Ricky. We learned some cool, interesting things about you. Don't mess with Ricky. He knows a little bit of jujitsu and he uses 2 toothbrushes, apparently, manual. But more importantly, man, I love what you're doing for the industry, that you are really coming from a place of contribution and helping us kind of change the face of what real estate should look like and what our job ultimately is. And I think that that is something powerful and looking forward to the future. So again, thank you so much for your time today. It's been awesome. You guys feel free to go subscribe, check out Ricky, and we'll be in touch. Thanks so much.
Thank you.